Welcome to the 1998 World Cyclocross Championships. 3 titles to be decided: junior, under 23, and of course the men's elite. We join the junior championships halfway through with the leader coming from Italy, Stefano Toffoletti. Now in the under 19 section, this race takes place over approximately 40 minutes, and what the organisers do is time the first couple of laps to work out then exactly how many laps they require to make the race just exactly that distance. Going through there, wearing number 1, the Swiss rider, the champion of his country, Michael Borgengartner. And very close in attendance, wearing number 14, Davy Comain. Now, the reason that the organisers of cyclocross time the first couple of laps is because the terrain can change quite dramatically with weather conditions. And as you can see today, it's been very dry and very cold for the last week, providing a very fast circuit for these riders. Number 1. Baumgartner there, jumping very quickly onto his machine indeed. There's such a lot of technique involved in the sport of cyclocross because you have to be able to jump off that bike over these bunny hops that are put in by the organisers just to break up the rhythm of the riders, and the technique is to be able to leap back onto the bicycle much more fluidly than you can. But at this level, the junior level, they've still got a lot of technique to learn and a lot of risks being taken a little bit further down there. It looks to me like the Italian chasing, that's Stefano Toffoletti. He knows exactly what he has to do. He has to get onto the back wheel of the current leader from Switzerland, Michael Baumgartner. This event, of course, the curtain raiser for a weekend of championships, with the junior title, the under 23 title, and the senior one to be decided. Middelfart, just on a little piece of land separating Jutland from Fionia. And as you can see, the wind on the sea there making it a lot colder than the -5 degrees that our temperatures are telling us here from the commentary position. Michael Baumgartner opening up a very distinct gap indeed. This young man riding with an awful lot of confidence throughout this winter. As he turns here into the finishing straight, he will get a chance to see that this is going to give him his first world championship. And you can see behind, the sprint for 2nd and 3rd place is going to be quite decisive as well there. Coming to the line, the Swiss rider Michael Baumgartner takes victory back to Switzerland. And in the sprint for 2nd place, well, there's no contest there. Stefano Toffoletti will get it ahead of the Belgian rider Davy Comain. Coming over in 4th place, there's confirmation, is Martin Okasek from the Czech Republic, but at the top of the leaderboard, and the man very happily indeed putting on the rainbow-coloured jersey of world champion for the next 12 months in the sport of cyclocross, from Switzerland, Michael Baumgartner. And a very happy young 18-year-old man indeed. A little bit later on, you can see the temperature still very similar, -4 degrees Celsius at the start, and this is the course that the riders will face. 4 kilometers around and a very long, fast straight indeed at the start. A tarmac surface where I think it will advantage the road riders. Off into the fields, then back onto the technical part of the course before heading back down along the headland there with a lot of wind coming across from that water and into the finishing straight. Under 23 years of age, that's what qualifies you for this event, and the big super champion on the start line, Miguel Martinez, under 23, the man who's been champion of the world at mountain biking, champion of the world at cyclocross, and today looking to try and defend that title for himself. But you know, he has been complaining bitterly about this cold, a very small, frail young man when it comes to cyclocross, and you can see him right in the middle of the screen there, in the light blue jersey of France, trying to get into contention, but you do have to get an important start here in cyclocross. The Italians look very strong right now on the right-hand side, one of their men leading them away, and the orange jerseys of the Dutch, who are hoping that later in the competition their men Richard Gruendahl and Adrie van der Poel will be able to take the World Championship back to Holland. You can see a little bit of the chaos these riders face on the start line. It is very important to get a good start in cyclocross, and these riders from Great Britain obviously not taking too much notice of that because they're right at the rear of the pack. Unfortunately, the wind and snow has kept away from this course, but certainly the cold weather has made it very fast. You can see the speed here of the Dutchman as he comes over the bunny hops very fluidly indeed, straight onto his machine, just showing us exactly how this sport is supposed to be done. This is Martin Nyland going away there, 21 years of age, and the man chasing him down very rapidly is the last year's defending champion, Sven Nys of Belgium. Sven Nys was second in the Belgian Championships this year to Bart Wellens. Both of these riders first and second in the World Championships last year. And there you can see the Belgians, 1, 2, 3, 4 riders in the top 5. So they've certainly come here today with a mission. So leading them away into the forested part of the course is the Dutchman, Martin Nyland. And already a certain selection taking place. Through the pit area for the first time. There'll be not too many bike changes this year because normally the bikes you can see on the left-hand side, they're changed every lap, sometimes twice a lap, because the machines get so clogged up with mud when the weather permits the rain to come in. But it's been so dry here in Denmark at the moment. This is a very hard and fast course. It'll certainly suit the riders from the flatlands, men used to riding very quickly in the Kermis races throughout the summer months. There you can see on a little graphic just exactly where the riders are. They've done the long 500-meter opening stretch and now they're in the wooded section. Italians very close up there too. Valerino Vandelli. Another Dutchman going through. That's Raymond Luberman in the orange jersey. Another one at the back too, number 18. And that in fact is Bram Schmitz. The Belgians looking very confident here, sitting in second position there, letting the Dutchman do all of the work. On the front there is the man who's defending his championship here, Sven Nys, and his compatriot Bart Wellens very close in attendance too. These two men have dominated Belgian cyclocross over the last few years. Bart Wellens has been 4 times champion of his own country, and his arch rival now certainly has become Sven Nys, who beat him last year in the World Championships at this level, under 23. A gold and silver medal for the Belgians on that occasion, and I think they're looking to push themselves to the front in a very short while as well. But for the moment, in the orange jersey of Holland, the leader, very comfortably, Martin Nyland. As you can see, the smoothness of Nys on the inside there as he slips the machine onto his shoulder, back onto the saddle and away again. The important thing here is to make sure that the gears are right, just so that once you get onto the machine again, then you can pull away nice and smoothly. Very good mixture, this course here at Middelfart, 180 kilometers away from Copenhagen, in the very heart of the Danish farmlands, once nicknamed, in fact, by Hans Christian Andersen as the Garden of Denmark. A little change at the front there as Nys starts to assert his authority. 3 Belgians in the top 4. And this is a confirmation of those top 5 places. Nys, Nyland, Bart Wellens, Volkaerts and Blask, the young man there from the Czech Republic, just at the back of the picture now. You can see this is a very rare sight of all the dust being kicked up in the sport of cyclocross. Normally a very muddy and tough and slow sport, but the average speed out here at the moment around about 27 kilometers an hour. We get a chance to see the riders 3/4 of the way into the first lap at the moment, and you can see just exactly what sort of damage is being done by the Belgians. Now, the team manager for Belgium, in fact, is no other than Erik de Vlaming, the most titled man in the sport of cyclocross. 7 world championships to his credit. And I think he's come here today and told these riders to go out and make it very, very difficult from the first lap. You can see they're taking a lot of risks. The foot comes out occasionally in the corner there just to try and control the speed around these corners. In fact, Wellens and Nys in first and second position there, controlling the field, putting a lot of pressure on. And behind you can see just how much these bikes are bouncing around all over the place. It certainly is very hard, and there is a good technique. You see just exactly how Nys jumped over that bunny hop. He didn't have to get off his machine. He still had the power to ride up this incline, while the other riders behind, well, they've had to resort to slinging the bikes over their shoulders. Now that could prove to be a very big advantage for him later in the event. But you can see 3/4 of the way around the first lap, still a very big group of riders. No major selection for the moment, but the most important place in this event is to be at the front. Leading the way, Nys, followed by his teammate Wellens, followed by the Dutchman Martin Nyland. And you can see the speed those men are taking those corners at. The Italians very high up there in contention as well. Out onto the headland for the first time for these riders. The wind that was hampering the junior event seems to have died down just a little bit, but it certainly is very cold out there. Amazing to see that on this very first lap, Sven Nys has gone out to assert his authority. A lot of confidence as he goes past the Flandrian flag there, and a lot of support coming from these people who've travelled up from Belgium to watch him race here in Middelfart. Tide certainly going out, but it's not going out at all for Sven Nys, 21 years of age. As a few spectators try to get a slightly closer look. Well, this is the end of the first lap. This young man certainly has gone out with a mission this afternoon. A cause for him is to go out and try and take his second World Championships at this discipline and take it all the way back to the flatlands of Belgium. And a very fast first lap indeed, 27 kilometers an hour, and the man chasing him over the line there, his own countrymate, the man who beat him in the Belgian Championship, Bart Wellens. And in third, well, the Dutchman who opened it all up, Martin Nyland. Well, this is a very risky proposition for this man, Sven Nys, to go out so early on. He has to race for a full 50 minutes, but he's got a lot of confidence the way he handled those bunny hops. Those are put in by the organisers to try and break up the rhythm, and normally a rider will get off, but just look at this. Flicks the front wheel up, then the back wheel. Doesn't have to get off his machine. He's not going to lose any time at all. In fact, he will gain time over the chasers. Well, there's confirmation of the position at the end of the fourth lap. Sven Nys leading after 29 minutes and 19 seconds, with Bart Wellens in second position still, and Petr Dlask of the Czech Republic moving up into third place. Well, this is how the other riders in the event take those bunny hops, not quite as smoothly as the leader, Sven Nys, and that's where he's certainly pulling out an awful lot of his time. 39 seconds at the last check, and I'm sure the organisers will be very happy to see this young man up in contention, wearing number 57 for Denmark on home turf, Klaus Nielsen. Looking very confident and very aggressive, riding at the moment in fourth place, just a few seconds off the third position of Petr Dlask, but the man overwhelmingly the strongest in this year's World Championships for the under-23 category is Sven Nys. Powering away. It's been more like a time trial for this young man. There's a situation on the course at the moment. Nys has 30 seconds advantage over his own teammate Bart Wellens, and Dlask, the Czech Republic rider, just a further 9 seconds back. Well, it certainly is much more like a road race than a cyclocross event this afternoon. This course has really been hardened by the very cold weather that's reigned over Denmark these last few days. And for Nys, it looks for the moment as if it's almost a formality. No pain on his face, just concentration, making sure he doesn't take too many risks. He's got the ideal situation at the moment. He's leading the event. He can pick his way around these corners. He knows just exactly what the course is like. They've trained on this course for the last few days. And you can just hear the vibrations there as he locks up the back wheel a little bit to flick it round that left-hand corner. Wearing number 1 as the defending champion. Number 1 is his position on the race at the moment, and it looks very much as if this young man is going to take his second championship of the world. He's been an excellent rider these last few years in Belgium. He was junior champion of his own country in 1995, the third the year after in the under-23 category, and second this year to Bart Wellens, the man currently chasing him in second position out on the course. You can see Wellens at the top of the course there, just trying to get into contention, but there's 39 seconds separating these two riders. There are their current positions out on the course. The yellow spot is that of Nys, and the blue spot that of Wellens. Once they come up to the end of this lap, they'll be looking for the final lap, the bell, which will indicate to them that the race is almost over. Wellens, you can see, looking very comfortable indeed. No signs of fatigue. Every time he needs to, he gets out of the saddle to accelerate away, to keep the pedals going round and keep himself consistently building on that lead. Well, here's a rider from Canada, riding near the back of the course here. He's about, in fact, to be lapped by the leader. This is Rudy Acer, looking over his shoulder just to see what kind of a locomotive is coming up behind him. Now there's the local favourite, Klaus Nielsen, still in fourth position, about 10 seconds for the moment off a bronze medal. And that certainly would be good for the organisers, who don't organise a lot of major cyclocross events in this country, but I think they're renowned more on the road with men like Bjarne Riis, the winner of the 1996 Tour de France, who doesn't live too very far from here. short and stocky rider, using a lot of power on this incline to try and keep his machine going very forward. Egged on by the crowd to try and close down. There's the Nederlander, Martin Nyland, who opened up the very first lap. He's currently in 5th position. I think that fast start is certainly starting to pay on him. The sun very low in the sky as we rejoin the leader, giving everything he's got now. You can see he's using a lot of the top part of his body there, trying to keep the gears going. It's starting to get hard. He's been on the bike now for around about 40 minutes and looking for about 10 minutes more effort to take him a little bit closer to that rainbow jersey. Still no problems with his technique at all. A little bit slow getting onto the machine there as he looks for these clipless pedals to click his feet back in there, pick himself back up to high speed again. Certainly has been a one-man race, just as it was last year. Sven Nys raised himself to the occasion for the World Championships. He was second in his own country's national championships, second again this year to Bart Wellens, and the two of them once more completely dominating the under-23 category at cyclocross. Chance here just to look at exactly how tough and hard this course has been. I'm surprised a lot of riders haven't opted for a suspension at the front. As you can see here, the hard terrain causing the vibrations right the way through that machine and up into the body of the local favourite, Klaus Nielsen. Off his bike, flicks it around that corner there, looking for the pedals, but once you start to get a little bit of fatigue, you start to make mistakes, and that is one thing that Sven Nys mustn't do. He mustn't start to get too confident as he comes up here into the finishing straight. 36 minutes and 35 seconds he's been in the saddle. So as he comes up to the line this time, it'll be 2 laps remaining. 2 laps will calibrate to about 14 minutes for the Belgian. The speed has dropped down just a little bit, 26 kilometers an hour. That's about 16, 17 miles an hour. Very confident, still has the ability to look over his shoulder. Now this is the fastest part of the course. It's a tarmac incline, about 500 meters of it, 8%. And if you've got a lot of speed in your legs, you can certainly open up the gaps here. Second man on the road, Bart Wellens, looks over his shoulder to see how things are. 30 seconds, so he's starting to peg back his teammate. It was 39 seconds just about half a lap ago, so he's starting to close it down, but there's a complete difference in style. The leader, Sven Nilsson, looks very, very comfortable to me. And I think, in fact, we've missed Petra Dlas, because the 4th man on the road at over 50 seconds is going to be the Dane, Klaus Nielsen. One lap remaining, and the man at the front is the man who's been at the front of this event since the very first lap. One on his shoulder, one is his position in the race. Sven Nys of Belgium, being chased by his teammate Bart Wellens, who's closed down now to 23 seconds, with the man from the Czech Republic, Petr Dlask, in 3rd place, 41 seconds adrift. But this is certainly going to go down to the wire. Belgium against Belgium, and what a dramatic finish that would be. If in fact Bart Wellens could catch up, it will make the same result as the Belgian Championships just 2 weeks ago. But last year, if the way stays as it is at the moment, it will be a complete and utter repeat of last year's World Championships. Sven Nys ahead of Bart Wellens. Nys still looking very calm and collected at the front. He went out on the very first lap of this event here, put the pressure on with his teammates. 4 Belgians in the first 5 as we went into the first lap, and they really had the hammer down. Once it started to slow down just a little bit, this man, Sven Nys, went right to the front and opened up the lead. A lone lead at the end of lap 1. And he's never looked back since then, never made a single mistake. A little one there, though, as he comes around the corner, pulls his foot out, but he's still got the ability to accelerate. Second man, wearing number 9 for Belgium, Bart Wellens. Now he's trying to pull himself back into the race. 23 seconds separating them, and 23 seconds separating him for a gold medal for Belgium. A little wave there, in fact, to his teammate, that they crisscross across these fields here. He looked across to Sven Nys, and he knows, I think, that his teammate is superior. He can't quite pull him back, but he's going to do everything he can, because all it takes over this last few kilometers is a puncture or a mechanical mishap, and the jersey could go to somebody else. You can hear the crowds there. The Belgians are going wild at the finish line here. They feel, in fact, that Belgium is going to take 1 and 2, but there's still around about 1.5 kilometers remaining. As for Sven Nys, he takes the last ascent of this very difficult course. It started off just like a hump in the road, but now it's becoming a great mountain to him. The shoulders now are starting to rock, the pain's starting to get into the rest of his body. You can see just exactly where he is there. The difference between the two riders, Nys and Wellens, 23 seconds. But, you know, I think the steam has gone out of the chase by Bart Wellens. He's going to be very satisfied, I think, with a silver medal. So he, too, won't take too many risks over this last part of the course. The sun very low in the sky, making some very pretty pictures here through the forest. Nys with 2 plasters on his knees to keep away the threat of tendinitis in this very cold condition. There's the leader, wearing number 1. No emotion on his face at all, just sheer concentration, looking for the little ruts in the road, looking for any telltale signs of danger that might cause him to puncture the front wheel, that might lead him into some kind of mechanical mishap. Certainly has been a dominant factor this winter in the under-23 cyclocross. Over his shoulder now, the machine there, as he runs up this climb for the very last time. He'll know just exactly what the situation is out on the road. We've got a clock on him there. 13 seconds has gone by. He must start to feel reasonably confident, as now all he has to do is a few more little corners before he gets out to the headland, and then very shortly after that he'll be looking again at the finishing straight, but this time for the last time. 29 seconds, so it looks to me as if it's stretching out just a little bit for number 9 Wellens, as the leader oh so confidently picks his way down these descents around the corner. He won't take too many risks now because he's got enough of an advantage. He realizes now that his second World Championships is just at the end of this long straight. Along the headland now for the very last time. He's been champion of Belgium. Last year he was champion of the world, and for this, for him, it's going to really put Belgium back on the map in cyclocross. Eric de Vlaming, 7 times champion of the world himself at the professional sport of cyclocross, I think will be a very happy man at the end of this straight there. The Belgians in the pits there. Do you want a new bike for the finish straight? No thanks, I'm going to go all the way. Still looking over his shoulder. He doesn't want to get caught, but he started now to celebrate. About 400 meters left. In a very short time now, he's going to come up to the pits, take a right-hand turn up to the finishing straight, but this man knows he's got it in the bag. The only man chasing him is his own teammate, Bart Wellens. Here is the finishing straight for the very last time, and I'm very sure we will see, and there they are. The Lion of Flanders, the Belgian flags. This is what they've come here to Denmark to see. They wanted to see Belgium take a victory, and they're certainly going to do that. Sven Nys, 21 years of age, from Oudenaarde in Belgium, certainly come away with a brilliant victory. Number 1 on his back, number 1 at the end of the first lap, and at the end of this 50-minute event, he's taken the World Championships back to Belgium. 2 years in a row, and what a remarkable finish for this young man. And a little bit further down the road there, his teammate Bart Wellens will be coming in for the silver medal, and that will be certainly a walkover for Belgium. There he is, second place going to Bart Wellens, and a very happy occasion. First and second for Belgium, and it looks too as if the rider from the Czech Republic, Petr Dlask, is quite happy with his performance too. He'll get the bronze. Well, this young man certainly has got a great future in front of him. 2 times already champion of the world. As the local rider, Klaus Nielsen, comes up, he's pretty happy with 4th slot. Just chasing him over the line is the Frenchman, Guillaume Benoit. But the man at the top of the leaderboard, Sven Nys and Bart Wellens, just like last year.
There they are, lined up now then, and on that front row, Grunendal and Van der Poel from the Netherlands, Pontoni from Italy, Janssens, Runkel, Simonek, Van Zandvliet and de Klerk. They make up the first 2 rows. Just behind them, Vervecken, Possipil, Vabel, Schatti, Chioti, Denis, Asbu and Arno. Those are the riders who can have a very good start. To start now as they go along this course, they've got a tremendously fast but a good incline as they go now They've got ahead of them some 600 metres. It's around about a 5 to 8% climb. It's not going to be easy to stay the pace at the front. And then as they go out of this road section, they'll be up over the top of 4 hurdles. And really, you've just got to be in the top dozen, because from now on in, the course, which is so rutted, so hard with the frost, and you see why the riders here with their long leggings on at the moment, they've been standing at the start for the thick end of 10 minutes. So this is really going to warm up. They've got to come out of there. Really, I suppose you ought to have been on a set of rollers like a man going to ride a time trial than standing on the start line, but that's the way it is, and there they go. They're going to be very careful in the early part now as they go through watching this. Now, I'll tell you what happened in the junior race this morning and the Espoir race later on when it settles down. Let's watch this one. Well, not a good start there for Bellato of Italy, number 4. He's a bit off the pace. And the Dutch really now looking hard at the front. So already they've put the pressure on. You can see on the left-hand side of the screen how it starts then to work its way back down off the top of this climb. Some more obstacles come, then down into the running section, along the pits, run again. Lots of off and on the bike. You see how fast it is. Not in normal gooey mud. I remember when Stuart Marshall got the junior championship in Belgium a few years ago, it was up to your knees almost in mud in places, and well, certainly ankle deep. We all lost our shoes wandering around the course. But look at the state of this course today. There, the French moving up already. That's exactly what Marc Madio wanted. And the Italians here looking at the Pontoni in the blue. Did little fella wearing number 1, but no. Grunendal at the moment for Holland, looking good on the front. The Italians beginning to come up behind him. Also from Belgium then, just behind them too. Looks like Danny de Bay beginning to work close on this little lot. And there are the 2 Frenchmen. I saw one from Republic of Czechoslovakia gone through. I'm looking out to see where Van der Poel has got to from Holland. He's not on the pace at the moment. He started rather badly. But he did have a bad accident training on Friday, as Grunendal puts the pressure on the front here. When Van der Poel was out training on the course, there were other riders as well, and some tourists were out there. 2 people who shouldn't have been actually on the course, and he swerved to miss them, and he hit a wooden stake on the side like you see here, and he badly hurt his thigh, but they didn't think it was going to affect him. But right now he's off the pace. He's won over 100 races as a pro as Adi van der Poel, but he's not with it now at the moment. A great disappointment then for the Dutch. They're all the way around this course. It's going to be like this, I think, pretty well all the way through. The junior race, 9 seconds covered the top 6 riders this morning. So to give you some idea, it's not going to be those long drawn-out things where you can use an egg timer to check the gaps between the riders. They're going to be very close indeed. And perhaps a commentator's nightmare as they change places. Keep your fingers crossed. The Swiss bells, as ever, belting away in the background, making an awful lot of noise. Well, still Grunendal on the front, hotly pursued by, in fact, it's Malo de Klerk, not Danny de Bay, who's made his way up. De Klerk is just up behind him at the moment. He was 3rd in the Belgian Championship, de Klerk, and he's right up at the moment behind our leader. Look at the French coming through now. Oh, Marc Demi-Have there. Well, that's your rundown on the running list. I'm surprised, actually, Simonek is doing a great ride here, number 67. He's one of the oldest riders in the race, probably in his 36, 37 years of age. You'll see him in the colours of the Czech Republic. He was 1st in their championship this year and still leading on the front. Richard Grunendal. Grunendal only finished 17th in the World Championship last year. He had a terrible cold. I'll tell you more about him as time goes on, but last year he was very dominant in the early part of the season and just went down with the cold towards the World Championship. But now I think he's trying to get his own back and just show them as the World Cup victor that he should be in there with a shout. Well, the Belgians really looking good at the moment on the front there. That was Verbecken we saw, number 33. Still Grunendahl. By the way, Grunendahl, last year, 1997, because yes, it's 1998 as he loses ground here, he had done, by the back end of the year, some 15,000 miles in training and racing out on the road, ready for the cyclocross season. So his fast course will suit him. The Union Jack in the background there, well, not a lot to cheer about at the moment. Grunendahl's dropped back to third right now. Looks like de Klerk sorted him out. And yes, the French are moving up. That's a good move at the moment as we watch the slow motion. I think probably Grunendahl's quite sensible to drop back a bit here, take a breather and follow them on the way through. You see how close it is. A little gap opening up back to first of the Danish riders. So de Klerk taking other on, Verbecken's in there too. Past the pits. Well, the mechanics will be looking, I think, for mechanical problems rather than mud. One of the big problems of cyclocross normally is you get so much mud around the wheels. Grunendahl wants to start working together. Come on, chaps, let's do a few turns on the front, but he's looking to come through here and open up a bit of a gap. Otherwise, all the riders are going to come up to this one who didn't make a good start. They come through at the end of that first lap then. Yeah, Grunendahl wants them to start working. Look at this. I don't think I've seen a cyclocross like this for years. 7 minutes and 11 seconds, that first lap then, and the average speed at 27.5 kilometers per hour. Nice little group, a dozen riders away here. Pontoni's now made it up there. The blue jersey, number 1 in his back, he's in there. The reigning world champs with them. But the Belgians showing good form at the front at the moment. Verbecken is number 33. You can see him on the screen. There's Pontoni, number 1. Number 40 just gone whipping through. That was Magnin of France, and so Magnin must also be. So the two French, let's look very carefully again. The two have been tipped to be there. Look like they've made it up there now as well. But the Danes doing extremely well. They've got 3 men there. The Belgians can play every card they have now. They can send men off there out. De Klerk's going ahead now. Verbecken was also doing his work on the front. They can take it in turns. Oh, this race will last 1 hour, by the way. What time is it back in Great Britain? 1 o'clock, I suppose. So if you, well, of course, pubs are still open on Sunday afternoon, aren't they? So hang on in here. Well, if your Sunday lunch is coming up at 2 or 3 o'clock, you've got 1 hour racing. For those who are watching live on Sunday, and once again, welcome to Eurosport and its coverage of cycling, starting off here with the what is called cyclocross, but it looks more like a road race to me. And good news to you all back there, by the way, who love the road sport. We are covering the Tour of Italy this year. We're also going to open up the road season with the Milan-San Remo. We haven't covered that for some years, so just imagine we've got the Napan, we've got the Tour of Italy, the Tour of Spain, the Tour of France, and we're also going to be doing many other tours as well. In fact, rumours flying around, we're going to be doing the Midi Libre and the Dauphiné, etc. So lots of cycling wall to wall until the end of the season, mid-October. I'm David Duffield, enjoying your company and enjoying this cycle racing. Damn sight too fast to me. The only time when I used to race that I could do well as cyclocross, but it's knee-deep in mud and we could shove the bikes on our shoulders and run. Moving in then to the third lap, still the Belgian looking very strong. Pontoni, by the way, we've got a telephoto lens here, shortening down the positions at the moment. There are Pontoni and de Klerk, followed by Verbecken. Just shows you how the Belgians have dominated the first part. Yes, Denise is still there in 4th spot, so that's a very good ride by Denise. There he is, looking very calm indeed. 2 Belgians, 1 from Italy. Pontoni on the front, the reigning world champion. And followers of the sports in Great Britain, you may remember if you went off to Leeds to watch the racing there, Pontoni won the amateur race in 1992. That's when he took his first gold medal. That was the time, of course, in the junior race when Roger Hammond won the junior championship. Roger, I spoke to him at the Cyclocross Championship in Birmingham, where again the Birmingham Council put on a wonderful job making Sutton Park available for the British Championships and helped enormously in the organisation of the whole thing. Roger, crashed in the British Championships, came in I think about 10th or thereabouts. He was trying to bunny hop over a log that had been placed across the course deliberately and charged into a tree in the process. Barry Clark, who finished second behind Nick Craig, also crashed at that particular point. The rally rider didn't blame it though for his position at the end of it all. Nick was undoubtedly the best on the day, as we watch these two now contesting the hurdles. And Roger, having crashed without a contention, I think that he's more likely now to concentrate upon a road season with the Palmans team in Belgium. Well, the Belgians can play all sorts of tricks here. They can throw de Klerk away, they can throw Verwecken away, and it'll leave Pontoni here and Denis just behind, wondering what they've got to do. What's the problem with Pontoni? Simonek's trying to come up now at the back. You see there, he's not the best when it comes to what I call road riding. I should have thought the French have got to come through. They have Magnin and Meunier there. That's our leading foursome going through. And it just shows you on our map how they're going around the course. After that, where it says start finish, that's a long ride up where the white arrow is, up that long climb, and then once they get over the top, they virtually reach the top of the course. And the undulations to take them up and down don't take them any higher as such. Well, on this with 5 laps to go, our leader still has a lead of getting on, I suppose, well over 20 seconds now. De Klerk with this little group behind, wondering, I think, what they've got to do to try and catch the Belgians. Certainly the man on the front, Verwecken, you see there, just moving back in a second spot, the Belgian in the bluish colours. He's not going to do anything to chase down his leader. He gets some nice slow motions of the difficulty of this very hard packed course. That's it. Little look how the bike bounces and bumps up and down. I should think that if someone recognised just how rough it's going to be, they might want to come along with their bike fitted with the rock shocks, because a lot of riders on the road for the Paris-Roubaix have started fitting rock shocks. This is the sort of circuit where probably a suspension front fork might well be a way of taking out some of the vibrations, but I think they've given up now. 37 seconds is the official gap back to this group there, and you can see on the screens who's in it. And that's back then. And I don't think that Vabel, Meunier, Janssens and so on are going to do much to catch. Well, here we are coming along here. I mentioned some of the back markers. Number 75, this is from Chile, one of the riders here coming through with the flat bars looking like a mountain biker. And last year in the World Championships, I seem to remember that Thomas Frischknecht, the previous world champion for Switzerland, who went on to be extremely good, and still a extremely good mountain biker, rode with flat handlebars. The course at Munich was frosty, but there was certain muddy sections. But I think for today, you certainly need your drop handlebars and your ability to ride like you would do on the road. That's it, 2 to go. Well, this looks like an out-and-out lap of honour, or 2 laps of honour as far as he's concerned. De Klerk then took off just after the second lap of the race. They went to the first 2 laps. Pontoni came through at the end of the second lap in the lead. We'd seen Grondal on lap 1 take the lead, but they're now back there in that chasing group. At the last time check when they came through the start-finish line, over 1 minute and 5 seconds down. There's Pontoni. Lighter than that, he only weighs about 9 stone wet through, by the way, and his bike weighs some 20 pounds, so a little light combination, but I don't think he was at home on these very hard, dry conditions today. He's storming off now, I think, trying to get himself the silver medal, and made Denise get the bronze. See the chap there in 3rd spot in this little group, Verwecken for Belgium. He won't do anything to chase, he'll just move on the wheels again. As they begin to catch some of the... Whoa, he's gone! That's Simonek that's gone. Laid it over far too hard. He's just going far too quick. This is just unbelievable, this race this year. We don't often see that on the tarmac. They're just having to go so quickly around this course that he's lost it now. And Pontoni looking back with Denise in the red and Verwecken there not doing anything behind. That may be a chance then for them to slide off the front and look for the 2nd and 3rd place medal. But still, de Klerk setting a hot pace at the front has got to, with 2 laps to go, comfortable lead. Our leader unconcerned by the crash at the back, which has caused Simonek to lose contact with the chasing threesome. Now has just got to stay upright himself, and these are the 3 chasers then. There's Simonek trying to come back after that crash. and that's your rundown. 1:05 was the gap, so they've held the same time on the gap between themselves and de Klerk. This then is the chasing group, and it looks like one of the French riders coming up to them. I'm not quite sure yet. Manion's come back at them now, and what was looking like a battle between 4 riders for the silver and bronze might now be increased by 5 as Manion, a good road rider, starts to come back up to them. Well, the prophecy of Marc Madio, the team manager of La Française des Jeux, saying that his 2 protégés might well be in there with a shout for the medal at the end of it all. We thought at one time there wasn't much chance after, though they fought their way up, Manion and Magne, into the elite group. They got dropped, and so still de Klerk then on his way through to that medal. Just overtaking at the moment, that's Peter Stevenson, the British rider. Again, a veteran rider to cyclocross. He's been doing quite well in Belgium. He spends most of his time riding over there. But Peter's getting on in years. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that. He's been there or thereabouts for many years now, but now he's been caught by the leader. I'm sure that his ability with Flemish, he will have said a few words of encouragement to de Klerk as he goes round here. So the Brit being lapped, that puts him over 7 minutes back. And the rest of the British contingent at the moment, Stuart Blunt, Barry Clark, Steve Knight, Martin Seddon, still soldiering on round this course, and also there with Peter Stevenson, one of the Dutch riders, and a disappointment, I think, very much from the Dutch that they haven't got Grunendahl or Van der Poel up challenging for a medal this time. It's going to be all Belgium for the first place, but are they going to get a second or third slot as well? De Klerk working his way through some of the back markers. Precision all the time with this. You can see that it's just the way he takes the lines and then accelerates out of them, how he just opens up the gaps and how quick he gets off his bike. There we are, up the slopes, opening up that gap all the way through. It's a little place you just put a bit more pressure on, and getting back on the bike, again saving time with that one. That's the Spanish rider just gone through, Chinderendro. Not exactly something they're best known for, the Spanish, when it comes to cyclocross. Still, Vervecken on the front here, just behind him in the red and white. Denise, but no, Simonetti moves through, and the green colours with the green sleeves and the blue, that's Pontoni, and they're going to have to watch it if Manning gets up here. I would think if Manning hasn't busted getting up there, he's got a pretty useful sprint and might pull something out to catch this little lot. And still yet again, that shows the power going down. The back wheel skidded round, but he stayed upright. Nice balance. You've got to be such an expert at bike handling at this sport too. It isn't just all power, it's precision riding as well. And knowing just how to ride about 99% and occasionally 110 when the time comes. But didn't lose control at all. Beautiful, beautiful handling. Now this is the battle for second and third, provided they all stay upright. As Vervecken cuts through on the inside, Simonetti just behind Pontoni and Denise. They've probably seen the danger of Manning coming up, and are trying to just open up that gap to make sure he doesn't get with him. There is Manning a bit off the pace now, so there could be just a 4-man sprint for the other 2 medals as Vervecken goes on the front. Then Simonetti, then Pontoni and Denise in red and white. Manning still off the pace, back in 6th spot. There he is. Vervecken here, I'm surprised actually he's putting so much work in, because unless he's trying to thin down the chase, I think they've come to the conclusion perhaps they're all very much a muchness. And there he goes. Well, I should think that Palmans will be very happy with this one. And I said earlier on in the programme that Roger Hammond also rides for Palmans, not riding for Great Britain this time, and probably going to concentrate on riding them when I'm on the road. Look for the Roger's progress. And interesting too, we've got a new British team coming up in the road, which we're taking part in the Pro Tour this year, as the devil goes mad. That's something else we've got in the calendar. I mean, an interesting cycle. The Pro Tour actually clashes with the Tour of Italy. I don't know what we're going to do to pick up some of the Pro Tour, certainly on our news programmes, but we're doing the Tour of Italy at the same time as the Prudential come in with their big event as well. So a lot of cycling ahead of us, and of course the Tour de France this year starting in Dublin. And I hope that a lot of you are going to make your way over there. I'll be referring it during the season and putting you all the picture about the road season as it develops. I think we're going to get a cracking and fascinating year yet again. And don't ask me who's going to win the Tour de France yet. I've got a bit of a short list. Hey, he's pleased here, just way to his teammates there and his fit helpers, that he's gone straight through without any trouble to ride on in for the first World Championship of the cycling season, the Cyclocross one. And it's got to go to Belgium yet again. The Belgian nation being so strong in this sport, and here's a man who has had one major success so far this year when he got that round in the Super Prestige and the World Cup. But there he goes across the line now in 1 hour and some 4 and a bit minutes to take the championship. A determined ride by him. He did it all on his own. He went away on that, the 3 laps covered. Off he went ahead of Denise and Vivek, and they just couldn't stay with him. And he opened up the gap. It went up to 37 seconds, then 45, then 105, and then 105. And he's very elated by that one. I say third in the Belgian Championship twice he has been, and now we're waiting to see who's going to get the silver medal. It could be Denise here, getting himself off the front, but no. Just checking back down here, looks like for Vivek. No, it's going to be 1-2 for Belgium. If he keeps this one up, 1-2 for Belgium, that's going to be quite something. The Belgians showing their enormous strength here. We're going to go back to days in, 1971, when Vlamic won it ahead of Albert Van Dam when they had 1-2. In fact, they won 2 and 3 that year, the Belgians. But it looks like Denise might get himself a bronze medal, so there's something for the Danes to be happy about, as Vivek, who rode a real teammate's job. He just stayed with that chasing pack, just keeping on the wheels. Looks like he's got to sweep in here to take the silver medal for Belgium. 1 and 2 for Belgium then. De Klerk first, Vivek second, and it's the third place going to the Dane. Denise looks over his shoulder. Pontoni comes up to, hey, watch it, watch it. Whoa! Now let that be a lesson to you riders who want to throw your arms up whether you're first, second or third, because there's always somebody trying to go and nip you on the line. Look at Pontoni coming up here and goes base over apex. And I don't even think he's got a medal to show for it. Nope. Bronze goes to Denise, and all he'll have is sticking plaster by the time he gets back to Italy as far as Pontoni, the reigning world champion, is concerned. What a way to go out of the medal, by going out on your backside. Doesn't look at all happy, does he? Crash out's bigger than him anyway. So at least he's got the World Cup Series to his yeah, Pontoni not looking happy down there at the moment. So he tried to get the World Cup Series, didn't get that one. I'll quickly check where he got. He was the world champion last year, now out of the picture. Doesn't look very happy at all. In fact, he finished in 3rd spot in the World Cup this year, and now he's just finished 4th, so he's not too happy, the world champion. And what a way to end the season as far as he's concerned. Well, it's not quite the end of the season. I think they've still got the odd Super Prestige event yet to come, and one of those, of course, Super Prestige won by Mario de Klerk way back in Milan. He's kept the forms since then. That was in December. Now he's come out champion here ahead of Vivek, with Denise taking the bronze for Denmark. That's the rest of the rundown. Disappointment, I think, for Grandal, the winner of the World Cup, back in 9th spot. Doesn't look, I think, too concerned, too happy about that one. Was this man here? Go on, give us a smile.
During the 2nd and the 3rd lap, I think.
Yes, I know I was strong last week. The results are good, and I know I was going to win today.
It was very cold, and about the track, what you can say?
Yes, that was just good for me. A very fast circuit, and I know I've been good on a fast lap.
Sven Nys has won yesterday, you win today, so the Belgian team has really dominated this World Championship.
Yes, I think it's the rest of the coach, the Vlaming, on the junior and the beloften. And for me, the rest are van de Vlaming, maar Roger de Vlaming.
Thank you, Mario de Klerk, and congratulations.
Now, you probably heard it too. I don't think the sound came to you well, but he thanked Roger de Vlaming for the well as the coach helped them. He, of course, world champion way back in 1975, and Mr. Paris-Roubaix himself helped Mario de Klerk win the world championships.
På fjerdepladsen, Daniele Pontoni, Italien, femtepladsen.